Hi, it's 2022 and it means I'm graduating this year. Technically next year, but I will have my classes ended this year, and that also means I will go either for masters or I will be jobless. So I'm preparing to apply for masters at our school, and I noticed that requirements for master's admissions and bachelor admissions are very similar, and it gave me a lot of nostalgic moments when I was so confused about what kind of documents I need to apply. It's all simply written on the website, but there are so many nuances, so I decided to review this list today with you. And in the end, I also wanted to talk about scholarships at our school. I also wanted to mention that every year, every semester, requirements might be a little bit different, so it's important to follow the instructions that applies to your admission period. To find out the instruction, we go to our school website, we go to admissions. There is a separate website for admissions for international students. You can check period of application here as well. So first you apply online, and after you do that, you need to also submit your actual documents, originals, at our school in person or by post. Then you wait for results. After you get good news, you need to submit a statement of intent to register. You pay for school, and then the visa procedure goes. You also can see there are a lot of nuances like nationality. Make sure to follow all the instructions here. You must meet one of the following language proficiency requirements, only one. But when I was applying, I applied several certificates just to improve my competition level, I think. But it's not necessary. For undergraduate freshman applicants, test of proficiency in Korean topic level 3 or above. For undergraduate transfer graduate program applicants, topic level 4 and above. Or instead of that, you can complete level 4th or above of the Korean language intensive program at INT'L Language Center. But it doesn't apply to language centers from other schools. English proficiency test scores, TOEFL, IELTS, etc. But this one applies more to international studies, so in case if you're going to have a major that's mostly taught in Korean, you should have at least topic or completion of high school or university education conducted entirely in Korean, or it has recognition that the applicant's level of Korean or English proficiency is equivalent to or higher than the above 4 requirements. To be honest, I have no idea what kind of certificate it should be. Maybe it applies to students like me who graduated from bachelor's at our school, majoring in something like painting, because painting classes are all conducted in Korean. And since I graduated then, I think it means I do speak Korean, and that means I can apply for masters, for example. There is an application fee as well. It's 150,000 won. It's not refundable if you get admitted or not. Keep that in mind. There are 9 required documents: application form, application supplement, and scholarship application in case if you're applying for scholarship as well, official transcript of academic records and certificate of expected graduation from your high school, for example, language proficiency test score reports or certificates like TOPIK, IELTS, and etc. Documentation verifying contents in application supplement and scholarship application, passport applicants and both parents. In case if your parents are divorced or one parent is unpresent, I recommend you to prepare documents that will prove that. Legal documents verifying a relationship between applicants and both parents, which is usually a birth certificate. Bank balance certificate, minimum balance of $20,000. I think this one is actually made for visa application, because when you apply for D2 visa, you need to submit this balance certificate. But for students for our school and from a couple of others, since they require this document when you actually apply for admissions, later in immigration office, they don't ask for it, which is actually much more beneficial for students, because when you're applying for university, you're most likely to be at home and it will be much more easy to get that certificate. And the last one, supplemental materials showing artistic or athletic ability. This one mostly applies for students who apply for art majors. So I had to submit my portfolio. So admission guide gets updated every 6 months, I think, every admissions. So make sure that you're checking the one that applies to you. It's a really long file, but I recommend you reading it really carefully, not to miss anything. The most important thing is to check the dates. You see, on the online application and submission of required documents actually have the same period of time, but after you apply online, you also need to submit them by post or in person. If you're not in Korea, I recommend doing this in advance so you have time to actually send the documents and your documents will have time to arrive before the deadline. And if you get the good news, you got the whole winter to prepare your visa and come to Korea. There's also one important thing like the document and authentication procedures like apostille. It applies to my country, which is, I don't know why, but in list of Europe countries, while it's in Central Asia. But anyways, it means that all documents that are issued in your country has to have that apostille. All documents like high school graduation documents, transcripts, etc. They should have apostille certification. To issue this apostille certification, it takes some time. In my country, it takes 10 business days. So make sure to prepare all your documents in advance beforehand so you have time to actually get that certification as well. Also, not all documents has to be certificated with this apostille. So to make sure, I recommend you to consultate in Korean embassy of your country. And in case of scholarships, there are a range of different scholarships. Let's divide it to this one that you get beforehand or when you're already an actual student. So if you're an international student, your admission process is going to be called special in all these documents, so don't be confused. And if your documents and your, for example, self-introduction and all the essay that you applied demonstrate your female leadership potential, you have great chances to get it. In case if you don't get the scholarship when you get admitted, you have whole 4 years to get other scholarships for continuing international students. If you graduated from INT'L Language Center and you had really good grades, you actually can get partial tuition cover here. Or if you are like me applying for masters at our school after graduating bachelor's here and your GPA is higher than 4.0 or 3.75, it depends on the scholarship, but you can get full tuition coverage for masters, for example, which is great. And in case of scholarships for international students that are already admitted, like me, there is merit-based scholarship that you can get if you study really well and you have a high GPA. Whether you get it or not depends completely on the ratings of students based on their academic performance and achievements. And there is also volunteer-based scholarship. For example, if you're participating in things like INT'L Ambassador program or, for example, mentor-mentee program, you get certain benefits from it.